Welcome back to another episode of Characters Who Got Shafted, a series where I talk about characters who got the short end of the stick. The criteria is story importance, lore relevance, promotion, meta-relevance, and community perception. This character has been heavily requested, so let's finally talk about Yukong, who I think was also shafted in every category. To my knowledge, she hasn't appeared in the story since Tingyun's funeral. Even when she came back, I don't even think they had a conversation. She has no real relevance in lore outside of her relationship with Tingyun and her companion who was killed by Lan in the First Borisan War, but other than that, that's it. Most of the community has forgotten her. Hell, I've even forgotten her until I made this series, and people kept asking about her. Now, Yukong is a 4-star imaginary harmony unit who is a designated imaginary buffer. One of her flaws was the need for eidolons to work, and this was obvious even back then, but it's a minor inconvenience. One of her biggest issues were her inconsistencies and adjustment problems. She was already having to compete with Bronya, Tingyun, and Asta, all of which are great supports who didn't have the flaws she did. Her passive gives the impression that she's supposed to be an amplifier, but she's so neutral that it doesn't work properly without losing damage. Her skill only worked with 2 characters, and this not only made speed tuning her hell, but you also had to speed tune your DPs to work with her accordingly. Not only that, her ultimate was expensive for the time, so you weren't going to keep the proper buffs all the time. Sure, we got a speed set later on that helped, but people didn't really want to use her all that much. Ruan Mei released in 1.6, and was also an amazing support, providing rest pen, damage buffs, and allowed enemies to be stunned longer. This is where Yukong would slowly begin to phase out in a lot of teams. Then 2.x came, and Sparkle happened a character who not only made skill points a non-issue, she took Yukong thing of being a designated buffer, she did it better. Not only was she a buff to quantum DPSs, she was a buff to characters like Dan Heng and Jing Yuan, who were very SP hungry. Even till this day she's a great support, but afterwards it was downhill for Yukong. After which, 2.3 came and Robin happened, and yeah, the grave was already being dug, but she got buried after this. Robin provided everything, even an immediate action advance with her ultimate, just an all-around amazing support. We didn't get a new harmony until Sunday, but at that point I'd be kicking a dead horse. Then Tribi released during 3.x, and yeah, you get the idea. Yukong was too much of a hyper-niche character to ever have any future relevance. Not only was she forgotten in the story, but she's just been forgotten in general. Well, that's all for today. Let me know what you think, tell me who you think should hear next, and thank you for listening to my Yap Sesh.